Hey everyone, I started this series where I read book series I'm in the middle of and I don't intend on abandoning it, so this is episode 2. Before I start reading this book, I'd just like to say that I do know what a series is, and I do know what a duology is, and I know a duology is not a series. Nonetheless, today in this episode of finishing series I'm in the middle of, we are going to be reading Ruthless, Vows by Rebecca Ross. Divine Rivals ended on a cliffhanger, so I am super excited that I am going to read this, and I think I'm just going to read it and update you as I go along. I just really like the way this book is written. I really like the descriptions of things. I just think that the writing is just so lovely. The ink written Tribune, which is where she does her little journaling thing, was rooted in the basement of an ancient building where it often felt like eternal autumn. I just had a thought, and it could be completely wrong, but basically there's gods in this world. The gods are responsible for certain things, and we've been told that Dacre is this evil guy, which yeah, he is. But also imagine if Ember's actually the evil one. We're being told this entire time that Dacre's the bad guy, and it's actually not, it's actually Ember. Imagine. Dacre is the gaslighter. Every single time I say Dacre, I just think of the guy that played Billy in Stranger Things, or I even think about Draco Malfoy, because the thing is that Dacre, he's blonde and evil. Parallel. Anyways, Roman is talking about how he had a dream about his little sister. And he's like, it's just, the dream felt so real. And Dacre was like, well, do you want it to be real? Would it make you feel better about yourself? Because I often have dreams and they just feel so real. This morning I had a dream that my grandparents got into a car accident and I saw it and they were hit by a truck. And then in my dream, I was at the front of my house about to literally go, because for whatever reason I saw the crash on my phone, a bird's eye view of the crash. My grandma's car, the truck was going really fast and then it spun the car out and they were killed. But I was driving to the crash site because no one was helping. And before I could do that, there was this gigantic truck coming down the hill. And this was a gigantic truck. When I say it was the width of the road and so many feet up in the air, and it was blasting such loud music. And you know when you have a car wash and there's those little spinny things, that was what was on it. My grandparents are still alive. Sometimes I do dream about things and they are memories, but I forgot the point I was making. This is also what I'm using for the bookmark. I also think it just matches the cover very nicely. I can't really say much about this book without spoiling it, except that it's just, I really like the way it's written and I'm really enjoying it so far, but it is painful. So there is a character in this book, her name is Addie, and I am living for the breadcrumbs of romance between her and this one guy, because he drives some sort of car that they need, or that scene where he got them out of trouble. Those are my headphones. Please do not buy my headphones. Also, that dress up there, that's what I'm wearing to a wedding. Something that I don't know if I mentioned a lot, but in Divine Rivals, the ending definitely does feel very rushed. But in this book, things do seem more sort of spaced out a bit. I don't know. The point I'm making is that, are these books perfect? No. But I am having amazing time of my life. I really like the vibe. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't actually even really care about the romance between Rowan and Iris. His name's not even Rowan, what's his name? Roman. I don't even care about the relationship between them. In the first book, I mainly loved the scenery and I liked the world that they were in and I liked the gods. That was my favorite part about it. And I didn't really care about their relationship. So in this book, I'm actually really liking it because they're separated. So there's not a lot of romance in it. And I was reading the reviews of this book and a lot of people were like, where was the romance? And I was like, what are you talking about? This is the kind of romance I like, where there's kind of no romance. There's little tiny, wee little breadcrumbs. This is the kind of romance I like in books. I really like the world. I definitely think that I preferred the world in the first one. It's more peaceful and nice, and this one is just not. And this book is painful. So Dacre, he's a god, and he has all these magical beings that he puts out on the civilians. So there's these things called ethereals, where they hold bombs, and if they see you moving, they just drop bombs on you. But then he has these things called hounds. I just keep thinking about Mr. Burns from The Simpsons, and someone's look inside your heart, and yeah, he says the hounds on them.
Look into your heart and you will find the answer.
But every single time I talk about the hounds, I just imagine him putting the hounds on people. He's washing her hair. He's washing her hair. That's so sweet. I like in books when they take care of one another. No, because I feel sick. And why there's so many lines where I'm just oh no. Oh no. My heart feels it's in its throat. Why am I about to cry? I think someone's just died. Well, 2 people have just died. Also, Iris, I would have never thought that she would have had it in her. Damn. So I have finished with Ruthless Vows. I just know that when it's a smaller book, it's gonna look so much better than this. But it's fine because I'm glad I read it when I did. I really like this storyline. I'm really glad that I read this. I think it's a nice little like wrap up to everything. I just got foundation on this book. It's the kind of like romance that I like in a book when there's like not a lot. But that's like my favorite romance, because then when you actually get any scenes with them, it's just like, yes. I am so sick of like contemporary romances when the chapters, they just keep objectifying each other. He's not an objectifier, thankfully. I really like this book. I'm gonna be one of those books that I reread. I'm definitely gonna reread this book. I really loved it. It's time to talk about this book here. Am I feeling a little bit exposed because people can see me talking? Yes. Do I care? Also yes. This book was the book that I was most anticipated for. Like, the main reason why I read the first one and the third one was so I could get to this one. And then the second one, I was like excited for that one because it's Princess Bodyguard, which is what I love. But I'm most excited for this one here. This is about Stella. Now, she is a social media influencer. She's like an Instagram baddie, and she has a stalker. She lives in this like apartment complex which Kristen Harper owns, and like he lets her stay there, and like all she has to do is like water his plants. You can meet me at my hotel. And he's like super rich and dangerous and powerful. People call him a monster. And then we have like Stella, and she's just so sweet and loving and shy and no, you don't understand. Okay, so my ranking, this book. Twisted Lies, my favorite one, and then we have Twisted Games, and then we have, I think, Twisted Hate, because even though what No Josh did to Jules, I preferred it. This is... Stop! I've already read this book, and like, I don't know why it's making me so happy. Like, I already read this. I already know. Oh, and the butterfly, because he calls her butterfly. Okay, I have my notes here, and I'm gonna read them out to you. There, you can kind of see it there. I said, I'm so excited for this book, you don't even know. I've been waiting this book the entire series, which I honestly have. This is my makeup bag. Isn't it so cute? It was literally $16 because it had like other like makeup stuff in there, but I just got it because it was this. It's giving Daphne from Scooby-Doo, that Toy Story 2 room scene, giving the 70s a little bit. Please don't hate me from the 70s. Okay, so I'm just gonna like empty and put my makeup back in here because it's like all falling out while I kind of tell you about it. So, I'm waiting this book for the entire series. This is the playlist. I should really make this into a playlist. No, guys, I actually can't do this. This makes me look a little bit scary. How do I look? The reason why I'm doing this is so then people can't see me talking because it's making me nervous. Nail polish? Check. I've got another nail polish in my car. So I said she works at a fashion magazine, Stella. Oh yeah, because also she is like a social media star, but like she also... There's a hair on this. She's a social media star, but she also works at like a fashion magazine. She's literally like an early 2000s heroine, because I swear they all worked at like a fashion magazine. I said, Kristen Harper is gonna be my favorite. She's walking home and then he drives past her and he's like, do you want to ride? The way I would have sprinted in his car if I was walking and Kristen Harper pulled like next to me. Pen, I need this. If Kristen Harper pulled his car next to me and was like, do you want to ride home? I'm sprinting into that car seat. I'm literally sprinting. Tweezers, mascara. I need to stop holding this up. People are gonna actually, you know, who cares what people think? I do. I care what people think. Okay, I should do my makeup. Okay, I'm gonna do my makeup. No, I'm not. I would sprint in that car like it was nobody's business. Like you don't understand. Sorry, I need to calm down. Remember the painting that was mentioned in Twisted Hate? Yeah, well, guess what? It was mentioned in here. Because of the stalker situation, right, is that anytime someone is introduced, I'm always like, I'm suspicious of them. Literally, at first I thought it was Christian that was the stalker for a second. Anyways, there's this dude who's introduced. He was called Lance, and I'm just like, oh, Sir Lancelot, yes. Also, telling you about this book, but it's like fake dating, because to get some sort of situation sponsorship thing, or is it ambassador? So yeah, to be like a band ambassador, she needs brand ambassador. Yes, this is now actually a rock star romance. It would just look better if she had 1 million followers and she's just been so close for so months, but like it's just not getting there. So it's like, well, if she had a boyfriend, it would like boost her engagement, because everyone's gonna be like, ooh, and he's like, I'll do it because I need someone to walk with me to events. So it's a little bit of fake dating, and it's the way they're like opposites, because Christian is like this dangerous cold man, and then Stella's is this like sweet person. And then she also helps this lady called Mora. Like, Mora, I'm literally crying. What is this, 7? Oh, I love that movie. 7 is actually my favorite movie in the entire world. She was worth the sacrifices. Oh wait, never mind, that's not that's from Stella's. Okay, never mind, that was not from his perspective. There's not a lot of his perspective at the start. Actually, I don't even know. But all I know is that I just wrote here, I like his perspective more, because it is kind of like a lot of Stella's perspective, but I think that's a smart author choice, because it's like talking about like how he's very like private. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't even get to know too much about him. She posted like some sort of picture with Christian, like just, I think it was like his hand or something. My nails match, well, okay, they don't match, but they're both blue. And I said her stalker's gonna come out of the woodwork because she posted him. So Franklin and Arthur TV shows, no idea what that even means. I think it was mentioned. He cares for her, like he actually cares for her. He also calls her Butterfly. Oh, okay, and also, you need to know, this is how he kind of talks. Black had always been my favorite color. Silent, deadly, impenetrable. Okay. His favorite color is green because her eyes are green. Oh yes, Butterfly, because they're beautiful, elusive, hard to catch. You gotta get used to like how they talk in this book. Like this is an example. I can't take myself seriously wearing this. It's like, because, so basically, yeah, but remember I said it was fake dating? And she's like, okay, because you don't want to go through trouble finding another regular companion for events. And he's like, because I don't want to be jailed for murder if anyone touches a hair on your head. Oh, and he's fancy because he's like, it's time to return to the party, shall we? I think I've said this for all of them really, but they're very possessive and all like, you're mine. And I don't know if it's just because I like read them all back to back, or listened and read them all back to back, that like I am so aware that a lot of the guys' personalities, they're very similar. Even though they're different, then I started theorizing. Once I had that theory about like Asher Donovan in like the Twisted Hate book getting a book series, well, he's getting one now. So I was right, because I am actually a detective. I am a detective, okay? So I said Cage, he's a security guard. I was like, he's gonna get a book. I feel like this book has the sort of least amount of the other people in it, but Rise called him. Yes, I know that's not how you say his name, but I'm also not gonna say his name probably because I know someone who's got the same last name as that, so don't even, okay? I said, I hate Christian now, he's so rude. And then I was like, yeah, that's right, go and fix it, you rat. Don't know what that's about. I think it's got something to do with the plants, maybe. I was like, stalkers are so scary again. Now she's got this little stuffed animal called like Mr. Unicorn. The unicorn's called Mr. Unicorn, and he was like, that's a raggedy stuffed animal. And there's a scene in the book where she like takes a poll and it's like, oh, who would you prefer, like the raggedy stuffed animal or Christian? And then the raggedy stuffed animal won. No, sorry, he's not a raggedy stuffed animal. His name is Mr. Unicorn. I don't know why I said this, okay, but I was like, Stella's annoying me a little. Don't know why I said that. I was like, okay, on my way to wash my hair by myself because it's a scene in here. Something that you notice when you read like a series back is that a lot of scenes are similar. A lot of like the lines are similar as well. Vivian and Dante, they pop up in this one again. Like, because I read The Kings of Sin, right? I remember there was a scene with like Stella and Christian. I mean, like I knew it was them, but like I didn't care. And I feel like if I did, I would have liked that book a little bit better for the little cameos, you know. There's something about the painting again. I cannot remember anything about the painting. I just know that I've talked about the painting so much and I'm like, girl, like I have no idea what you're talking about. Christian is annoying me. How can you be so nice and to her and then be possessive and not cold? Oh, Christian, as in like Christian from Magnolia Parks. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Did he? Don't listen to me. I said, I'm getting bored. She needs to find someone else. Christian's scaring me a little. Why is he doing all of this? Oh wait, yeah, I forgot. There's quite a period of time as I was reading this book where I was actually terrified of Christian. Like I was like so happy to see him, and then I was like, oh, he's kind of scaring me a little. Oh, okay, at least now he's talking. Finally. Oh, never mind, he just left. And then I was furious because then he started flirting with another woman. He was with a woman and he was flirting with her. And I was like, Stella, find someone else. I literally hate him. He's got, you know, got a few little mood swings. This is insufferable. Oh, so was this my favorite? No, I think this is why then, because I was so adamant at the start that this book was my favorite. I actually don't know. It's definitely between this one and the Bodyguard one. I think it was nice. This book, they're all together. And I said, Josh is funny, but I haven't forgiven him. I just wish that what happened in Twisted Hate didn't happen. Like, I just bashed my head on the side. Also, then, you know, Christian says some all this like weird cryptic stuff. He's all like, you know, I waited a long time for this. So, you're scaring me. Family dinner drama. Stella, her family's like all high achievers, so then they have to like sit down and like go around the table and say what their accomplishment is. Christian is scaring me a little. He keeps saying things like, when I have her, she'll be mine forever. And I'm just imagining some scary man saying this. It's like definitely pretty privileged because it's like some of the things that these men romance books they say, it's like, no, that is actually terrifying. And if you were anyone else, you'd be literally in prison. There's a lot of telling. This is what happened. This was the book that started off the chain of events. I kind of have a lot of telling. Because I don't know why all this is, but all the stuff that is being told is often the most fun stuff. In chapter 36, they mention this guy called Julian. And, okay, first of all, my car is literally called King Julian. I don't know why part of me feels like my soulmate's gonna be called Julian now. Just because, you know, my car's called King Julian. I did name after Lima, but then also I only thought of Lima because I was reading Magnolia Parks, Long and Home, and Days of Haste doing at the same time. Yes, I read them at the same time. I would highly recommend you do that. Number one book boyfriend, Julian hates. Name a better book boyfriend than Julian hates. Currently reading The Count of Monte Cristo. Edmund, he's second. Stop, I'm not even kidding. It's so obvious that I'm talking. I put my hood on so people can't see my mouth, but then I'm like wafting my hands around. In fiction, there's just something about like charismatic, rich, powerful, dangerous man. Did I also mention like really intelligent as well? So like don't ever like go out into the wild and be like, King Julian, because like my car will come to you like a dog. So she's in his office. I'm scared she's gonna find something. Oh, I feel sick. Oh, I'd be terrified because guess what? She does find something. Ouch. The third act breakup. Like I was in pain, but I spelled it like ouch. Like it was like a long thing. I was like ouch, and I was like, damn, third act breakup. Sigh. I don't know how they're gonna get out of this. I'm back. He said something. I was reading, so I thought it was like. I can't say it, but I also said the betrayal, and then I said again the damn painting. I can't remember anything about painting. OMG, her stalker. Guys, is it bad? I don't remember who her stalker was. Is it bad? I don't remember who her stalker was. I don't remember who it was. Guys, who was her stalker? I can't remember. But if you tell me, like, make sure you do spoilers and then, like, enter it a few times. The entire side of my car, it's all fogged up because I'm talking. Like, that's what my window looks like. OMG, her stalker. I can't believe who it is. I feel betrayed. I don't even remember who it is. Okay, and I said it's giving the notebook because of the letters. Everyone is there for her. I said this is so cute, the epilogue. Yeah, I definitely like the epilogue. Yay, finished my notes. So I like the epilogue just because everyone was in it. Alex never had the kid. Alex just like let the kid like do his hair or something. He said lies. So actually, was it my favorite one? I don't know. Cause like Christian, he did kind of scare me at some points. I literally binged the entire series and what? Because I keep seeing things. This is like blocking out my peripherals. Am I glad that I read the series? Honestly, yeah. Was it the best piece of literature I've ever read? Well, no, but it doesn't matter. It was fun. It's not that deep. And I'm glad I read it. And I also much preferred having them all together because I think if I stop moving the damn hands, I'm gonna send my hands. I think if I just read Twisted Love, I don't know if I would have continued on with the series. Unless, you know, I had everyone being like, oh, it gets so much better. But I'm glad I was just like, I didn't have to wait, you know. My bank account didn't. But that's it. I'm glad that she'll be here for me to do my review. Let me know what you thought about this book. I'm going goodbye. Ow, I hit my head again. Hello everyone. So I wanted to begin Heir of Fire, not Hair of Fire. Basically, maybe if you ever hear me say Hair of Fire, it's because last year I played this game because I had a different YouTube channel, which I kind of neglected, but I had a different YouTube channel and I played an episode game on there. And it was called the Heiress Games. And this girl name was Goblina and whatever. Basically, because of that, I just started unironically calling it the Heiress game. And that's really like messed me up a bit, but it's Heir. Honestly, you know when people talk about how the English language is so stupid? This is an example why. In what world is this Heir when there's a H at the beginning of it? You know, okay, moving forward because I don't want to get furious. Basically, this is the fourth book in the Throne of Glass series. I am really enjoying that series, but also keep in mind that I am newer into fantasy. I don't know much about fantasy. I haven't read that many fantasy books. I'm new into the world of fantasy, which is probably why I like it. And if you ask some seasoned professional, they'd probably be like, it's really not that good. But also, I'm not a seasoned professional. Basically, Crown of Midnight ended on something like a cliffhanger, and I'm assuming everything's going to pick up back here. And basically, the main character of this book, she is now in a brand new place. Is it in the map? I thought that said for Sam, and I was, you know, it's not. It's for someone named Susan. But I never use the maps. Is it on them there? Surely there's got to be something. I love when books have maps. Okay. Anyways, part 1, Heir of Ash. So I'm going to just start. Selena Sidothian had been lounging on the lip of the terracotta roof since mid-morning, an arm flung over her eyes, slowly baking in the sun like the loaves of flatbread the city's poorest citizens left on their windowsills because they couldn't afford brick ovens. That is so sad. Okay, I'm gonna keep reading. And why does it kind of look like I have a bob here? Oh, I would not suit that. I would not suit short hair. Anyone who says that this would look good on me, you're sabotaging me. Like the one time that girl told me I should go bald. Literally, look, the thing is, this girl, I don't know, like, I think she didn't have any nefarious intentions, but she did tell me that she did think I would look good bald. I don't know what she was expecting me to do. Like, oh, you think I'm gonna look bored? Okay, I'm gonna go and shave off all my hair. No. But I think she was trying to be nice. Oops. Okay, so we're getting to the end of chapter 1. Do I look a little bit funny to you? Is it just this angle? Why do I feel like I look a bit funny? Okay. Anyway, so the thing is, I'm reading so many books lately, and they're not funny. Like, they're not supposed to be funny, but like, they kind of are like unintentionally funny. Faye down in the alley. See, sometimes in fantasy books, characters just do the wildest things. Like, why is she being sniffed right now? For full transparency, I'm not actually sitting here and reading. I just have my phone here because it's on charge, and my light is here. So then, see? Like this terrible lighting. So my light is just here. So I'm reading, and then I'm coming back over here to tell you about what I have been reading. So there is a new guy that has been introduced, and his name is Rowan. I feel like I read a book, and his name was Rowan. Yeah, it was in the fine print. His name was Rowan. And also then I read a book. It was Ruthless Vows. Well, like Divine Vows was the first one, but I read Ruthless Vows just recently. And the guy's name is Roman. Very, like, similar names. You know, you don't realize that, like, when you read books, like, so many characters have, like, the exact same name. Like, as soon as I named my car King Julian, yes, after the Lima, I suddenly started noticing how, like, so many characters' names were Julian. How many people in movies, their name is Julian. And I fear that, you know, no, I can't say that. But, like, part of me is like, okay, why do I keep seeing the name Julian? Like, is that a sign? You know, is my soulmate named Julian? I would have never imagined my soulmate's name to be Julian. I fear that maybe if I did meet someone and their name was Julian, I'd be like, this is a sign. You know how ridiculous that sounds? Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, Rowan. He is a new love interest. And the thing is, right, is in this book, everyone is in love with her. Literally, everyone is in love with her. Honestly, slay. That's amazing for her. There is a lot of new characters, and there keeps being like changes in perspectives, which I know is just used so you are more intrigued to hear the story, but it does annoy me because it's like you get really invested in like one storyline and switch, and then you get really invested in that storyline then, and then switch, and then switch, and then switch, and it's just like, but I understand why authors do it. I know why authors do it, but like at the same time, like doesn't mean like, just because I know why authors do it doesn't mean I can't give my personal opinion on how I feel about it at a said time. Remember how I said about Rowan and him being in love with her? They can't be together because they're technically related. Just update. Remember when I just said that they couldn't be together because they're related? Well, Rowan was very adamant about the fact that they're not related. And it's like, that pig boy over there, you're like just as related to him as you are to me. You know what that means? That means he is going to be the love interest, because why else would he go out of his way to be like, you know, we're not related? Unless, you know, it's because there was like going to be a romance in the future. And I don't know if it was this guy that I've seen fan art for, because when I was looking at Throne of Glass fan art, I saw her and there was another guy, and like they were obviously like together, and I don't know if it was him. Selena is as much as an epic hero as Frodo or Jon Snow. What's your opinion on that? Oh, also, I'm looking at the back here. It says the third book. Sorry, yes. Technically, this book is the third book because I read Assassin's Blade first. So sometimes I get confused. Remember when I said that there was lots of new characters? Well, it's like there's entire new storylines as well, because it's witches and stuff. I remember Barbara Yellowlegs from Crown of Midnight, and she's actually prevalent in this one, which I like when characters in books actually are important and they're not just thrown in there just for the sake of being thrown in there, and they actually have like a purpose. So yes, the witch clans are interesting, but I would say there are kind of 4 main perspectives. So we're dealing with Selena and this guy named Rowan. He has a neck tattoo. He's very feared. Everyone's like, he's a really bad guy. He's very old. Then we are following Dorian. Every single time I hear Dorian, I think of the picture of Dorian Gray, which is a book I finally have and I am very excited to read. But we're following Dorian, and I think a romance is blossoming with him and this healer called Sorsha. And then we have Kale, and he's just doing his little things, because basically something happened with him at the end of the last book. So he's kind of fulfilling out his duties before he has to go and do something that he said he was going to do last time. And it was kind of like this entire mess. And then we have Manon, and she is part of like the Blackbeak clan, which is like witches. And the king is getting the witches to do something. And that's kind of the 4 main perspectives we're in so far. I'm really liking the witch perspective, but I also like Dorian's perspective, but I also like, I think I'd say Kale's is like my least favorite, just because I feel like he's headed to the most like sadness and I don't know. So in essence, I'm enjoying my time reading this book. The wyvern scene, exactly what I wanted to happen from Manon happened. If you read the book, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, don't worry about it. Okay, so Selena has just been bitten. But like, why is it? Okay. Blood. Her blood was on his teeth, on his mouth. Why is that kind of like in the context? She probably tasted like a sewer to him. I'm up to chapter 55, and that we just had a flashback scene. It was intense, but a lot of stuff has been explained. I only have a little bit left. Damn. I was getting emotional a little bit, and then I don't know. I don't know what to say. So I finished Heir, not Hair, Heir of Fire a little while ago. And I have a lot of things to tell you because, see, I have like half a page of notes. And I didn't tell them to you because when I read this book, I always have an excuse for why I take notes instead of just, updating you as I go. But this one was because I was feeling insecure and I didn't like the way I looked. So I was trying to wait for a time where I liked the way I looked. That hasn't happened. I don't think it's actually going to happen. So instead, I'm just going to just read it and we're not going to talk about how I look. Okay? Moving forward. Something about this book, right, is I think my favorite part of the book, could be a bit of a stretch, but something that I thoroughly enjoyed is because this book, it follows so many different people's like perspectives and storylines. One of my favorite ones was the witch storyline, and we have this witch called Manon. Basically, she is training with wyverns. That's all I'm gonna say because I don't want to like spoil anything. Anyways, she has a wyvern called Abraxos. I love that little storyline and like what she does for him with like the wings. The thing about Rowan with Selena is, how I feel about him changes. Basically, they went to the village to interrogate the villagers. She went shopping and then he just like held all of her bags for her. Must be nice. There are flashback scenes in this book which give you like more information about everything. And honestly, I kind of appreciate that because I feel like in a lot of books, we kind of get dumped all of the characters' past in like the first chapter. I like the fact that this book series, it's kind of being revealed to you as you go along. Now, I think with Throne of Glass is the main thing, this is all the books in it, there is so much discourse surrounding when Assassin's Blade should be read. Some people say you should read it first. Some people say that you should read it after Crown of Midnight. Some people say that you should read it after this book. I'm pretty sure the author of this book actually said that you should read it after this book. And honestly, this is my opinion. I feel like it would be impactful if you read it after this book. Personally, for me though, I could not because I think I was 15, 14 and I tried to read Throne of Glass like with the little preview thing on Google and I was just bored. I was like, I don't care who this Selena girl is. Like, she's in a prison, okay, and I actually just don't care. But with the Assassin's Blade, we got like her backstory and everything and like how she ended up in prison. And so I was like, oh, well, okay, the salt mines of Endovia, not just prison. I am glad that I read it first. And having that backstory was good, but this book, I can see how it would be impactful, especially when you hear all the talk about Arabin and Sam. Personally, I'm glad I read it first, but I can see how if you read it fourth, it would be impactful. This book is split into parts, so if we see here, part one was Heir of Ash, and then we get Heir of Fire, which is also the title of the book. Back to Manon and Abraxos with, the wyvern and the flying. There's this movie, it's called How to Train Your Dragon. I'm sure you've heard of it. But if you haven't, it's about this guy named Hiccup who like befriends the dragon. Their first flying scene kind of reminded me of Manon and Abraxos, their first flying scene. I was like, this is just like in the How to Train Your Dragon. I'm going to read you out a quote. And I think something has happened to me because I'm now so sensitive in books when characters are mean. When this character said this, I'm not going to say who said it to who or whatever. You have that sort of air of surprise element to it. But when I read this, I actually flinched. And what does that say about me? That I am so sensitive that if I read a book where a character's being mean, I'm just like, oh. Like, it's literally a word on a piece of paper. But I'm going to read it out to you just because it was There's nothing that I can give you. Nothing I want to give you. You are not owed an explanation for what I do outside of training. I don't care what you've been through or what you want to do with your life. The sooner you can start your whining and self-pity, the sooner I can be rid of you. You are nothing to me, and I do not care. When I was reading it, I was like, oh. It's not funny. It's not funny at all. Stuff that I used to read, the characters were like way meaner than that. And I was just like, isn't this drama? But now I'm just like, oh, what's happened? How do I get back to how I was before, where I didn't care about anything? I think one of the main reasons why I am really liking fantasy books is because of the mythical creatures. So something happens with her and fire and burning. What you need to know is that Rowan looks after her. And there is something about this trope, something about it, that I eat up every single time, but only if it's summer. Also, why is like every character I'm reading 19 years old? Selena's 19. The Count of Monte Cristo, Edmund, well, first of all, he's not going to be 19, but at the start he's 19. There's a scene with like the orchestra and the conductors, and honestly, I'm very proud of them. There are basically these creatures in this... there are basically these creatures, but they kind of like distort your memories and stuff. It made me feel so sick because the whips, Nehemia, and then Sam, like, are you actually kidding me? It's harrowing. That's what it is. Chapter 54. It was the first sunny day in weeks. The snow in the cobblestone streets melting quickly, though the wind still had a final bite of winter to it. That's a nice little image there, but actually, what goes on in this chapter? Like, what is going on? Again, there are more flashbacks. Like, Marion. In this book, a lot of things come together. And there's still a lot more books after this, so I wonder how many more things are going to come together, but a lot of things have come together in this book. So I need your help with something. People in Selena's life have died. And there's a scene in this book where, like, she's fighting against these things, and then it's, like, all her, like, dead friends and family are there, and they kind of, like, help her at the start. What movie is it? But it's a similar scene, and I swear it's, like, needing to close a portal or something, and, like, everyone's there helping. What movie is it? Or is it a book? There's something. And I need to know what it is, and it's like they're all helping. And I remember it made me cry. I think it was a guy, and I think his parents were there. And they were like, I'm proud of you, son, or something. And they were all helping him, or her, them, helping them, like, defeat a monster? What was it? It's driving me insane because I don't remember, like, what it was. But it was something. And, like, yeah, they were all, like, helping. Oh, I remember. Oh, remembered it. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I just now realized why it's called Heir of Fire. And I'm not saying that as in, like, pretending I am back when I read this. I'm, like, now in real time just realizing why it's called Heir of Fire. Oh, isn't it crazy when the title of the book makes sense? Oh wait, and I'm afraid for Kingdom of Ash then. If it's Kingdom of Ash, does that mean the entire kingdom's gonna burn down? Probably. Yeah, that's probably why it's called Kingdom of Ash, isn't it? That makes sense. Something about this book, or it could just be with fantasy, is that it feels like it's a lot of telling, not showing. You know, it's a lot like, this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, rather than sort of writing the experience. But then again, this book is pretty long, so imagine if everything was explained. I guess it'd be a... I did cry over fictional characters again. There's a scene, right, and essentially people get caught for things. Have you seen Alvin and the Chipmunks? It's like the 3 chipmunks getting in trouble. They're like just standing there getting lectured. That's what it feels like. I really hate the king. Also cool here, like the cold never bothered me anyway. This book, it's very emotional towards the end. I need the next book. This is so sad. I love the witch plot. I actually like lots of perspectives. I need water, but I can't move. Why is that piece of hair doing that? The fully conscious baby? Look what I just found. Some guy drew it.
Go to the Four Seasons Orlando.
I would be delighted, Mother, to accompany you on this exhilarating excursion to the Four Seasons Orlando.
This is my account. It's called Belle's Boring. To that guy that only because I accidentally liked an incel's comment, and before I had like a picture of my face, so I started getting really scared, and that's why I put in my bio, I'm sorry I accidentally liked people's comments. I didn't mean to, because so many people kept viewing my profile because I would accidentally like them. So then I'm like, well, so that's why I hate this man. I hate him. But until I find something else, I should change that. And then I accidentally made it a story. So then it was just, it's all a mess. It's all a mess. I have an entire collection called Reasons to Stay Single.
I need you to need me back. Oh, I'm not single.
This is another reason. This is what I say. This is what I put in there. See? It's like, I'm glad we didn't work out. It's like, I put these things in here to remind myself that it's not that bad. I heard my cruise neighbors arguing, and they've been married for 56 years, and he cheated on her last night on the cruise. Okay, one day you're crying about another man from your hometown. Another day you're in London with the love of your life, coming from a Michelin star dinner. I only know what that is because of that 7-year slip book, and you were loved. Also, love her shoes. So that's like kind of like to stay single, to not settle. She was a butterfly, he was a moth. I save videos like this to remind me that I'm alone. Just went to check his snap score and called him twice. See? Like, it's not that bad. Oh, this one. Have you guys seen this video?
Just for you. Rough.
An alien abducted me. Took time out of his day, his or her day, to beat me up into a spaceship. Just me, not anybody else in the neighborhood. I would make love to them, because that means I was chosen.
Oh, and look at this one here.
Had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now?
That guy, I swear that guy. This is a masterpiece. It's kind of scary because it's made by AI. I didn't need to say this. I'm gonna delete TikTok again, but it says my best day in 2024 is gonna be the 11th of June. Or, because it could be backwards because it's American, maybe. It could be the 7th of November. I guess we'll see. Okay, so this is for the spoiler section. Essentially, we find out that Dorian and Selena knew each other. The scene where she makes fun of him for like eating really properly. Does Dorian? No, because, okay, I also had the same thought. I was like, wait, if she... The king has already interacted with her. Does the king not know who she is? But no, because she rebranded herself from Aelin to Selena. That makes sense, because she has repressed memories. Never mind, I answered my own question, because everyone said that she died. That makes sense. Also, the king having powers... I don't like the king. I hate the king. This is for the spoiler part as well. The part with Dorian and what's her name? I feel so bad for forgetting her name. Saoirse. Yeah, Saoirse, she's a healer. He decapitated her, the king. That is sickening. I thought they were gonna be together. Why does everyone die? And Dorian, when her head was decapitated, like him running after it. Oh. And Dorian is being very Elsa-coded. When he uses his powers to, like, put her out the window. Does Elsa even do that? Please, with Dorian and Chaol. Like, when he started saying, I love you, my king brother. And then, you know, Dorian sacrifices himself and, like, sends Chaol away. So, with Dorian, when he sacrificed himself, the collar, I'm crying. She was Aelin, Ashriver, Galathinius, and she would not be afraid. Because I am Sam Cortland and I will not be afraid. Yeah, I definitely want to read Queen of Shadows. And then it's Empire of Storms and the Tower of Dawn. That's a tandem read, isn't it? And then it's Kingdom of Ash. See, the months just keep going by. I'm going to finish this series by the end of the year. But I'm kind of glad that I'm not, like, just binging it. And I'm kind of, like, just experiencing it, you know?